phasing through your speakers. It's the motherfucking Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
5, 4.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, AuDii 3000, and this is episode 39! Yes! I want to feel that energy. I love this energy. I am so excited. This is episode 39, but it's actually episode 40. Technically, because if you guys remember, we did the episode 19 and a half or 18 and a half. It was one of those two numbers. I was doing it for selfish reasons. I wanted to do my birthday episode on episode 20. So, we made it happen. If this is your first time here on WCW TV or on WCW Radio, I want to welcome you to the WTW fam. And all you have to do to join this beautiful family is subscribe. Whether you're listening to us on Apple, if you're listening to us on SoundCloud, or if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome. And I invite you to join the WCW family. We're going to be celebrating on a 1-year anniversary of the Ambition Hour podcast, January 6th. So I'm very excited about that. It has been quite an experience, this podcast, let me tell you. But before we get ahead into the topics that I want to talk to you guys about, I just want to go ahead and shout out the projects that we have that came out today. We have 44 Million by Spitz, which is a video on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and check the new video that we dropped today. And if you haven't seen any of the other ones that we have dropped on beautiful WCW Saturdays, make sure you check those out as well. And now if you're listening to us on SoundCloud or wherever it is that you're listening to us, on SoundCloud we did drop a new song by Laid Back Sosa called Out of Place. So make sure you listen to that, you like it, you share it, you post it on your Instagram story, do all you got to do so everybody can hear it. If you guys heard, we dropped a new video, a new song, and we're also dropping this beautiful podcast, which is the Ambition Hour podcast. Like each and every single episode, I want to thank you for joining us. If you would like direct links to anything WCW, make sure that you visit our website, which is WTWrecords.com. Now, I know the website is coming up. I see my dog working. Shout out to Hav. Shout out to Hav for, improving the website and just being bomb. Shout out to Spitz, who is also in the building, my audio visual guys. Got one taking pictures of me, the other one making sure my audio and visual is right. I am so blessed. So very grateful. Which brings it to my, the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about. So last week you guys saw that last week's episode, we spoke about, I had the boys on, and we spoke about how we were going to be going somewhere after, and we ended up going to was an episode of Drink Champs. That was awesome. So first of all, shout out to Drink Champs. Give them a big old nice round of applause. It was so much fun. The vision that I just saw being there, and the presence of because they have the camera set up in every single angle. They have a sound system where you can they just have so many plugs and connections and cords, and I was just I know that there is there's just so much going on. I'm sorry guys, I just saw the FedEx truck and I'm so excited because that means my package is here. If you watched my story yesterday, then I'm going to be talking about that later, but I'm just so happy that I saw my package come. But yeah, so I was very excited about being on set, seeing Revolt TV people just working and making sure that the video was good, and just having everything ready so that when the guests came, and when Nori and EFN, shout out to EFN who was here for episode 30 of the Ambition Hour podcast. I'm so grateful for him having invited us. He didn't have to do that, and he did it. I remember when he messaged me about going to the show, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going. I didn't even ask who it was, and it turns out that it was Talib Kweli and Dead Prez, which blew my mind. Guys, how was the experience being there? The boys, they're all shaking their heads yes, it was bomb. And it was just a very one of the things that have mention, and not only that, but also what I spoke about on TGIM on WCW TV, which I do every Monday on WCW TV. And it was just like, you're closer than you think. Like, yeah, we may not have Revolt TV behind us, but we do have WTW TV behind us, with the audio, the visual. We don't got Remote TV, but we got WTW TV. I had to say it again one more time for my friend. And it just showed me like what we can have if we work hard and we stay consistent and we don't give up. Because you can't give up on your dreams. You have to stay consistent. You have to consistently be uncomfortable with, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that the only way that you're going to accomplish anything in your life is by just fighting through all of the bullshit that you keep experiencing. So that the past couple of months, or maybe not last couple of months, but maybe last couple of weeks, mentally I have been having a battle with myself because of the stuff that usually goes on around this time of year in my life that has consistently happened. Like, something always happens around this time, and so I wanted to make sure that my mind was open to receive whatever it is that the God was trying to tell me. And so being in Drink Champs provided that for me. It showed me like, girl, listen, I know that you're feeling this way right now, but look at where you are right now. You're in the presence of, I used to watch this podcast in my living room and say, I want to have something like this. And now I have it in my living room. But I also got to sit, and I got to sit in the same room as this podcast, as the podcast that I was envisioning and seeing for my own podcast, because that's what it did to me. It provided that fire in me in the beginning of when I started the Ambition Hour podcast. So it was just all full circle for me. So last week we introduced, the exact description of the Ambition Hour podcast. And so coming into this week's episode, it was just kind of okay, so how can I bring equality into this? How can I bring positivity into this? How can I bring awareness into this? And it just all ties into, what the podcast is about. So shout out to Drink Champs for having us. I don't know when that episode, I thought that episode was gonna drop this Thursday, but I mean, I guess that they didn't, but
Are we allowed to say that?
were we allowed to post or are we the feds? Are we those people that we don't want? Are we those people that bro? Because I'd be the first one talking about don't be recording when you come, and I was the one that is way too funny. Man, oh well. So on Monday after TGIM, I usually like to record TGIM as soon as I get home from work, because at that time I'm still a little more inspired. I've been literally thinking about everything that I'm going to say in TGIM all of Monday morning, because I have to practice it myself. There is no way that I could do TGIM without practicing it myself. Now, I just need to practice into a TGIT, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to have to just do one for every day, because your girl by Friday, I be burnt out. And I don't know if I could go anymore. So come Saturday, I'm like, ooh, but it's okay, because we have a positive mindset. So I did the episode. My dad comes home after the episode is damn near uploaded already, and comes and has a bomb-ass conversation with me. He comes in with, first of all, a positive attitude, and I was just no wonder, this is where I get it from. And because he just walks in, he's like, good evening, and I'm just on the computer yo, what's up? And he just comes in, and I'm talking to him about Drink Champs, and I'm telling him about the experience, and he's just you were born a star, you were born to do this. And he talked to me about how, you just have to be yourself, and you have to, whatever decision it is that you make, you have to be able to live with it in 30 years. He's the decision that I made, the things that right now that are going on in my life, I made that decision 30 years ago. And I don't regret them, because it's a decision that I made, and I'm happy about it, but do I want it to change? Yes. And so that conversation was just something very insightful that I wish sometimes that I could have just recorded it. If I could have just because he was spitting so much knowledge, but I also believe in living in the moment and really taking in that energy. And it was just an awesome conversation. One of the things that I have expressed before is that I haven't always had a really good relationship with my dad. And so as an older woman now, maybe not an older woman, but yeah, like an older woman, yeah. Gerald looked at me like, bitch, you better say you about 30 years old. I'm sorry. But yeah, so, as an older woman, like, I feel like having a healthy relationship with my father is something that is super important because he's always been a part of my life, but the relationship hasn't always been good. And one of the things that I also learned this week is that a mom, like calling your mom like on the phone, like when you're really going through something, is like just like it reminds you. It's like the adult version of when you were crying as a little kid and your mom would pick you up and you would just stop crying. Like that's the equivalent of that, like as an adult. And I feel like that's something that I feel that is positive because I want to share with you guys this positivity of that's what's going on in my life. And that's the reason why I'm able to be positive because I'm working on communication. I'm working on, showing my feelings and not being afraid to show them because before I would be scared to show them. I would be scared to show that I'm weak or I would be scared to show that I'm hurt and then just say that I'm mad. Just like kind of just like leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? And so the conversation that I had with my dad, it kind of opened my eyes to kind of see like, okay, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing because I've been prepping for it for as long as I can remember. My dad has always reminded me of Selena's dad, of how he was like, he was very passionate about music, but he never pushed us to do music. He just pushed us to want to do whatever it is that we wanted to do. So I've grown up with that, like, embedded in me. Like, I just want, like, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, like, I just want you to be what you want to be. Like, I just want you to be what you want to be. And then the same comes from my mom. But specifically, the player got me this week. Player started me off right this week. And for those, if this is your first time watching this, the Ambition Hour podcast, first, thank you. And second, I call my dad Player. My brother calls, it's just like a whole thing. Like his sisters know that we call him that. It's the funniest thing ever. But he loves it, and he calls himself that too. And it just has continued and it doesn't stop. So he just got me this week, and yesterday just like talking to him as well, and he was like telling me, like he was looking at the pictures of like the makeup that I've been doing for the episodes, and he's like, that's too much, that's this, and he's like, this is the one, which was the first episode of October, the one where I was wearing pink, makeup was popping. I think that was episode 35, 36. Listen, guys, we've been doing 39 episodes. that's quite a couple of episodes. But yeah, so he was just like, hyping me up, and then kind of like just hyping me up, and then I was just like, man, I'm so grateful that I have this friendship, this relationship with my dad, and I was just very happy about that. And so this past weekend, from going to Drink Champs, we ended up going to go see Dead Prez perform after. I say Dead Prez even though Talib was performing. We didn't get to see him. It was a little late, It was a little late. Dead Prez killed it though. It was cool to see them, get interviewed and then see them perform. That was crazy. I don't know about you guys, but that just blew my mind. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I just saw an entire interview. Like, because I see it now in like my point of view. Because I think what that showed me was that now it can get to a point where we do a podcast and we go straight to, the special guest's performance. So that's what it showed me, because that's what EFN did. EFN just interviewed probably, like, one of his favorite hip hop groups, and then he went to go see them perform. Like, that's awesome, and then so I see it the same for me. I'm just like, okay, there's going to be a day, there's going to come a time where I'm going to, interview somebody and they're going to, go straight to a performance right after, which I think is beautiful. And shout out to that. Shout out to dreams like that being made, like, and coming true, and just being so close. Just being so close to it. I just want to talk about like awkward moments for a little bit, like when I go out, because I don't know why, but I noticed that when we were at Drink Champs, there was just so many little awkward things that would happen to me that I'm like, girl, you need to get it together. Like, why are you so awkward? Like, I told one of the dudes from Dead Prez, what his name was, Sticks. Yes. Okay, so Sticks, first of all, he's like using his phone around mine. So I'm like, what you doing on my phone? This man is mid caption writing on Instagram. You know, you be inspired as fuck when you writing captions on Instagram. And I straight up scared the shit out of him. And it was just funny. It was just funny because I was like scared. I just scared him. And then I thought that was like, you know, an awkward girl moment. And then Talib Kweli walks in, and then I drop something like as he's like, what the moment that I could say hello to him, like, that's, you know, something happens. And then Nori, I'm just like, I'm just going back and like all the awkward things that would happen. And then even like at the concert and like being around other people, it was just kind of like, oh. Like, I need to do better. Like, socially, I need to do better. I need to be a little bit more social. I need to talk to other people, first of all. I know that's a flaw of mine. But if I feel like that's, if I'm going to be in this business and then in this industry, I need to be more open to having these, you know, having conversations, you know, with other people, and not just people in the industry, but just people in general. Like, I'm being very transparent, like, just people in general, because there's times that, like, you know, I guess I'm a Gemini in a sense, because I can talk to anybody, but like, I'm still like awkward about it. Like, I can talk to, like, hi, how are you doing? How's your day going? Okay, cool. You know, smile on your face. I'm good at that. But when it comes to like, oh, hey, so what do you do? Or like, you know, and it's because that's why I'm naming this episode "What You Scared For," because it's kind of like I have a sense of fear of just having a conversation, period, because sometimes I get scared that people are going to ask me something that I'm not ready to answer. It's weird because I do interviews, so blows my mind every time. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that because I was just kind of like, I need to talk to these people. Even there's times that even on the Ambition Hour podcast, I'll have an awkward ass moment, and it's okay. I'm aware of that. But you know, we just out here trying to get better and do better and doing better. So okay, so What You Scared For is the name of the episode. Shout out to that. I came up with it last night after just like thinking and kind of like brainstorming on what the episode was going to be about. And it was just kind of like something that like popped into my head, and I've had it on previous episodes before. I used to have it on the side right here, and it says worry ends where faith begins. And to me, that just speaks so much volume, because you think about, you worry about everything. You worry about what they might be saying about you at work. You worry about what they might be saying about you at home. You think that, you know, you go to the grocery store and somebody's talking about you and they're not talking about you, or you worry about paying your bills. You worry, like, there's so many things that we worry about, and a lot of the times worry comes from fear, because okay, if you weren't afraid of, you know, what people were saying about you, you know, then you wouldn't think that people were talking about you. Like, if you truly were to just understand that you don't have to be afraid of people talking about you, or even just like chasing what it is that you want to do, then things just go a lot better for you. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about that was scaring the shit out of me and made me not do anything about it for such a long time, because I was paralyzed by fear. And what I'm talking about is the Ambition Hour Ambition Hour. This is the Ambition, the challenge, the Ambition Hour challenge. Now, this challenge was something that I have been thinking about since episode 9. That was in March? Episode 9. We're now in 30. That was 30 episodes ago that we thought about this, that I've been thinking about this, because I was just like, I need to make a change in a lot of the things that I'm doing. But I was afraid. I was afraid of what people were going to think. I was afraid that people would join. I was afraid that I wasn't going to get results. I was afraid. Like, I was just so afraid until I kept telling myself, I'm just like, what are you so scared for? Like, what are you so afraid of? Why is it that you are so scared to do something that you have done before? And it was because I didn't want people to, like, I guess, ask me questions about it. I didn't want people to, like, actually join and be a part of a community. Like, it was just like a fear that I don't know why I had it. And then it's already been a month. Well, it's going to be a month on the 31st, and I feel amazing, you guys. Like, I feel amazing. Emotionally, I feel amazing. This full moon got me fucked up, but that's beside the point. And you know, emotionally, just like all around, I've been able to go to the gym. I just started going back to the gym a month before I thought that I was going to be able to make it. As you guys know, I was going to physical therapy for my hip. And I've been training ever since I stopped going. I've been training myself. I've been still doing therapy on myself for my hip to make sure that I'm healthy. So that way because the thing is that if I'm not healthy physically and mentally, like, but first what I had to work on was my mentality, my eating habits. So that way when I went back to the gym, things were a lot more easier. And I noticed going back to the gym right now that just like, there has just been such a big change in how my body even operates and moves because of the physical therapy that I was going to and the training that I was doing at home. So starting the Ambition Hour Challenge, I just like, we're coming to an end of it, and I just like, the results are amazing. I've seen them. I'm not too crazy about like if other people see them. Like, to me, it's more about myself and how I feel, and I feel fucking great. So, and I'm the only one doing this challenge, so I'm feeling greater. You can still join. This shit is going on until the end of the year. And I was inspired by my friend Gabby to not eat French fries for the rest of the year. So we gonna do that. Challenge accepted. If you don't know, I'm obsessed with French fries. Like, we can literally, I won't even be hungry or want anything, but if we pass by, like, you know, the Golden M, sorry, no free promo. There's only free promo when it's hip hop shit. And you know, the Golden M, you know, I always want to pull up into the drive-thru, get some French fries, you know what I'm talking about, but can't do that no more because it's not healthy. It's so bad for me, especially me. Like, you know, I'm a little thick girl, so sometimes, you know, that weight goes in certain places that it shouldn't. But pizza, I love you. But yeah, so that was just something that I was very scared of. And so now that I'm seeing the results that I was so scared to get, it's kind of like, girl, why are you scared? What you scared for? And so another thing that, if you watched my story yesterday, I talked about how, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is AuDii Ambition, AuDiambition. My bad, water break. Make sure you go ahead and follow me. Shout out to the people that have been, I think my impressions went up this week. Very happy about that. But shout out to everybody who is new to my page, who is new to the Ambition Hour podcast. Thank you. What I did talk about yesterday was checking yourself. So I did mention earlier about that the FedEx dude came because, you know, I was waiting for my package. So something that I talked about in my story yesterday was I work at an office, and at this office I get phone calls all the time. We do I don't think I've ever talked about what I do. I work at a foreign credential evaluation company, and I'm an assistant there. And I'm an assistant, and I work in customer service. And so basically what we do is we give the equivalency to foreign students so that way they can go to work here or they can go to school here, continue their education. So we're basically helping people from all over the world get an equivalent to their studies here. That way they can, you know, live the American dream that they have, go to school here. A lot of people come to America to go to school and to work. It's beautiful. I love it. But that also includes customer service. And so in customer service, one of my jobs is like somebody will call and they'll be like, my tracking number ain't working, right? So yesterday, I made an order on Thursday and I was checking for the tracking number since they sent the email. Knowing, like, and then I myself tell the customers, like, you have to be patient, ma'am, sir. You have to be patient because sometimes tracking numbers don't get, updated in the system as fast, or they won't get updated in the system until the day of, or like, I'm trying to explain to them that they got to be patient with the tracking number and with the information on the website when you go check it. Then I find out that my ass can't even be, patient when it comes to my packages as well. So I had to check myself. I had to be like, girl, you over here telling people every single day to be patient with these tracking numbers, but you're not even doing it yourself. Like, how many times have you checked it? And so it's just kind of like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And what I mean by that is, the more that you continue to do toxic things and you don't stop them, the more they're going to continue, and they're going to take you into another realm of toxicness, and you don't want that. Because for me, okay, so I like to check to see who watches my story all the time. When I notice that somebody hasn't watched my story, I'm freaking out because I'm just like, why hasn't this person watched my story? They're like one of those top people that always show up, and it's kind of like, why haven't they seen my story? And then it's just like, girl, you need to calm down. You need to stop checking who's watching your story. Like, that's why I have a limit on my Instagram, my social media, because that should drive me crazy. Just like like little things like that. Like, you guys think that that those little things don't matter. Those little things matter because those little things trickle into the rest of your mood, into the rest of your mindset, and just like it's bad. It's so bad for you, and it's exhausting. So you gotta check yourself sometimes, like straight up check yourself. I wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite hip hop moments. One of my favorite hip hop moments is listening to Slick Rick for the first time. And it was because we were, what was it? Oh, it was part of like one of the dances that I did in high school. I was in a hip hop dance team when I was in high school. Shout out to Crash Crew. Hey. That was my shit, man. I love dancing hip hop. It was one of the funnest years of my life. Sad it was only a year. That was my fault though. That's for another episode, but that was definitely my fault. And so for me, I remember hearing it and being like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, I had never heard anything like it. And it moved something in me to go and check and see like more of the history of hip hop and know about him more and listen to his other songs, and then end up learning about Dougie Fresh and learning about just more of the artists that, basically helped shape hip hop, because I didn't have anybody to teach me that. No one taught me about Slick Rick. Like, I didn't have older brothers. I moved from California at 8 years old. So my older cousins all lived in California. So there was only so much knowledge that I can get from my parents about music. It was the friends that I had were all in the same group as me, like in the same age as me, and they weren't listening to hip hop. So as I would get older and the more that I would fall in love with hip hop and kind of understand it more and kind of see like, man, this is something that I really, really like. And I just remember hearing Slick Rick and then just falling in love with it even more. And even seeing like learning about Slick Rick. And the reason why I talk about this was because I saw him yesterday on the No Stylist video. Have you guys seen that video? Yeah. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but he is in that video, and I just thought that was so dope because as a rapper, I can just imagine the impact that Slick Rick has done, just for, your wordplay, the way that you use your voice and your storytelling in your songs. I can just think like as a rapper. And then so because as me, I'm not a rapper, but I appreciate that and I acknowledge that and I see it and I admire it because I can't even talk normal, right, sometimes. And this man is straight up spitting like dope verses, and that's what I loved. And then you have Dougie Fresh with his little like beatboxing, which we discovered earlier that Spitz can't do. Love you, Jerome. But yeah, so it's just like the beautifulness that comes from hip hop, and then you know, him with it, like the patch, and just like it just being so fucking hip hop. And that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. And even like watching, like being in the same room as Talib Kweli, I remember just being in the same room as him and realizing that, you know, this man is on like one of my favorite Kanye songs, which is Get 'Em High. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? That was another hip hop moment for me too. I was just like, I've had some other ones that I'm gonna share in the future, but like, man, Slick Rick did something when he when he came up with that. What is it? It's Children's Story. Man, and then that 6 minutes. See, I can't even talk right. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. And then shout out to Brown Sugar. That's why I had to do episode 30. Like, bro, episode 30 was 9 episodes ago. What we gonna do for episode 40? Can you guys drop some suggestions, like, in the comment section, so I know what we can do for episode 40? Like, episode 40. What if we get E40 on? That would be so dope. That would be so, like, my cousins in the Bay would go crazy. They'll be like, what the fuck? Hey, man. They didn't know that we could get EFN on. They didn't even know that we could get Killer K on. They didn't even, nobody. They didn't even want this podcast. Talking all that shit, I need some water. So something else that I have been getting into, I've been getting into more award shows, like watching more award shows, especially that are giving out hip hop awards. But another thing that I'm also back into is watching videos. People out here are coming out with these dope ass videos. But there's some specific videos that I wanted to talk about. One of them is Backing It Up by Party and Cardi. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I know that's how it's been said. So, Party and Cardi. I really love this video. One of the things that I do know is that Cardi was 5 months pregnant when she recorded this video, and you cannot tell. There's mad Lil Kim vibes in the video. Loved it. Back like 90. And I really like how Party, like, how he how he articulates himself, or how he when he's performing, that, like, that's how you would say it, because it's not acting, is he's performing the song. The way that he's performing the song is just like, it made me fall in love with the lyrics more because he's talking to a girl, so it kind of makes you feel like, you know, he talking to me. You know, and it's just it's pretty cool. And then there's like a single scene of just like a woman, like, you know, getting it, and it was just beautiful. And just the shooting of it, and the whole dynamic, like, I really like that video. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. Another one that I think blew my fucking mind was Sicko Mode, which is the Travis Scott and Drake song. That shit, Hav showed it to me, and it was kind of like we were talking about something, and I told him that I didn't watch the video. He stopped all that we were talking about and showed me the video. Like, he stopped the video he was watching and showed me the video, and I'm happy that he did, because it was a pretty sick video. I really liked you know, the green screen. It was just the driving. They got Drake in the driving, and one of my favorite parts is when Travis does like the thing from Dreamgirls. He like plays Eddie Murphy from Dreamgirls. That's the vibe I got. I thought that was hilarious. I love that. Another video that I'm loving is the Mia. I love that song. I love the song, and then I saw the video, and that video, just because Bad Bunny be doing these little shoulder things that I'm fucking with, the hey. He be getting it. I love it. Bad Bunny is definitely growing on me. I've had this conversation with the boys already, that like, he's growing on me. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of Spanish trap or Spanish music. In like, well, yeah, I like it, but it's not something that I listen to all the time. And I wasn't too fond of Spanish trap because I love, you know, hip hop, I don't even like. I don't even know why there's a difference. Like, I don't even know why there's a difference. But like, cause it's just it's just that it's, I guess, but yeah. So he's coming. He's growing on me. He's he's getting my attention. He got me with the song he has with Cardi, that I Like It, with J Balvin. And then he got me with this one. So I've seen him in concert, which was pretty cool because I got to see like how the crowd was reacting to when he would perform, and they would go crazy. Like, I remember the first time I saw him, my sister like went like crazy. I'm just like, this guy has to be good because she is like out of control right now. So I love the video. And then No Stylist by French Montana and Drake. And it's cool because French Montana is driving a car and Slick Rick is in the passenger seat, and he's like sitting not on the seat, he's sitting like on the top, like I guess like the headrest. This man is taking sips out of a teacup while French Montana is driving. He's not really, because at the end you see that it's a green screen, but I thought that was so genius that they had Slick Rick in the video. And then they also have like Young Thug, and he's dressed so unique. Like, so unique. I fuck with it. People talk about like how he dresses and stuff, and I just think that like we're free to dress however we want. Especially I feel like in hip hop we should never, because I done seen some things in hip hop that is okay. You know what I mean? Like, we're a culture that we're allowed to do that. We're allowed to express ourselves, in an outfit form. Another video that I saw that I really liked was Girls Like You by Maroon 5 and Cardi B. I had never really heard the song, but I knew it was popular. I don't know. I just didn't like the idea of Maroon 5 and Cardi. It didn't make sense to me, but apparently it makes a lot of sense because the song is pretty good. I really like the video because it's the lead singer from Maroon 5, he's like in the middle of a room or something, and then there's like different women, like they go in circle, like in a circle kind of thing, and there's like different women that like in each transition there's like a new woman. And so he has like Camila Cabello, he has Ellen DeGeneres, he has Tiffany Haddish, he has Mary J. Blige, J-Lo, he has some of the Olympic gymnasts, he has some other actresses in the video. And I just thought that was so beautiful because it was kind of like a celebrating woman and like girls like you, and it was just very multicultural, which I think that more music videos should possibly do, is to be a little bit more multicultural and just kind of show that. I think that's beautiful because there's so many different beautiful women. Like, women, ladies, we are beautiful. Like, we are queens. Don't let these, don't let them. don't let them. Jerome, what was that call for? You got something in your throat. Jerome's not on this episode. Hurt. He's like, I want to get on by any means necessary. Shout out to Jerome for dropping a video this week. They shot it with like the AAA. Y'all got tripped. We got an appearance by the Miami Heat in this bitch. Like, come on now. Dwayne Wade's in the video too. Oh shit. Damn. Y'all gotta watch this video. Dwayne Wade makes an appearance. He makes an appearance. So yeah, so those were the videos that I wanted to talk about. This past week was Drizzy Drake's birthday. Now, I love Drake. I don't ever like want to shy away from that. I do appreciate, other hip hop artists, but Drake is Champagne Papi, and I like to celebrate him because he is also doing things, and he's breaking barriers, and he's just being himself. And I just feel like, even though he can go negative on all of us, he doesn't, because a lot of the times, people attack him and they want to make it seem like his career isn't what it is. And his career is very, is going pretty damn well. I'm gonna say it. His career is going pretty good. He's been in the game already for how many years? 10 years, I would say. And because I was watching Ashton Martin Music, the video yesterday with Rick Ross and Michelle. Yeah, her. No, Michelle Morose. No, that's not her. Chrisette Lewis. No, you know what? Let me not fuck up this person's name.
Frick.
That was horrible. Rewind. All right, so because Drake also shared that he shared that he damn, okay, so he shared this text message that he got from his teacher from like high school. That she sends him a screenshot of the Billboard, and it says Drake scores 12th Billboard Hot 100 top 10 of 2018, passing the Beatles for the most in a single year. Bitch, drop mic. Like, that's hip hop. You know? And people can argue and say that it's not, but bruh, it is. Like, it is. You have to acknowledge that. And I'm sorry I acknowledged it. That's bomb. Like, because that's a branch. He comes from that. You know what I mean? And so it was his birthday this past week, and he celebrated it with the 2000s theme party. I fucking loved it. Like, he showed up dressed like Fabulous from the Traded All video. First of all, I love that song. Girl, I traded all money, cars, and everything. I love that song. It was from the Barbershop video, the movie. Like, cause the video, cause listen, I listen to that song like every day, no lie, because it's in this playlist that YouTube got for me. Shout out to YouTube for providing your girl with some tunes while she's working. And it was just cool because I had been watching the video, like, cause I'll listen to the song, but then like I'll sneak, the screen real quick so I could watch the video. And so I knew when I saw his outfit that was from that. And then he mentions it on his Instagram that is his favorite. That's one of the people that has inspired him. So for him to have worn that outfit was awesome. And then Diddy also shows up to the party. So it just kind of comes full circle because it's from the Traded All. Traded All is a song between, Fab and Diddy. Man, Diddy was making some bangers back in the day. So was Fab. Did you guys hear that Fab got married, secretly married with Emily?
Yeah. Congrats.
Congratulations to that. We celebrate love. Listen, some things just ain't none of our business. You gotta stay out of people's business and pores. Okay, I learned that this past week from my big sister, Sarah Jakes Roberts. I love her. Oh my God, I love that woman. I was watching a sermon yesterday. Man, when I tell you that I just felt like a whole nother leaf just flipped over in my life. And that's how I feel every single time. That's something that you guys have to do. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. What I'm going to talk about right now is uncomfortable. And I want to get uncomfortable because I know that just being uncomfortable is going to take me to the next level. So, one of the things that I have been searching for was a word. Okay? Now, the word that I was searching for, was something to inspire me, but not just to inspire me, but to kind of like just propel my mindset, propel my faith to the next level. And sometimes you never know where you're going to get it from. Sometimes I go to a specific source to always find that, and that source is God. And one of the people that I get that connection from is from Sarah Jakes Roberts. So she is a pastor, and she usually she has a podcast. This is the only other podcast that I listen to religiously. Whenever I get the notification, I'm listening. And it's because that has taught me so much, and to just believe in myself, and to just that sometimes you're going to experience things that you feel like. One of the things that she has spoken about was kind of like, how sometimes you get furniture from like a specific store and you know that it's flimsy and it won't last you for like a whole, like maybe like, oh, this is only going to last me for like 6 months, a year or something like that. And so you're kind of like coming in prepared with that, and you know that you're going to have to go ahead and get a new one. That's kind of like how it is when it comes to the different times in our life. Because sometimes in life, what happens is that, okay, so we built everything that we had to build, but at one point, that needs to kind of break down so that way we can go ahead and build something even greater and build and come out with something greater. So that was something that I feel like I connected with so much because that's what I feel. Like we're getting into almost a year of the Ambition Hour podcast. And not that it hasn't been great. This has been the funnest thing I have done like in my adult life, really, honestly, truly, because before I wasn't really doing, I was just getting by with what I thought it was God's plan. I was just like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing because X, Y, and Z happened. That's not always the case though. Sometimes what ends up happening is that you go through certain things, so you learn that that's not what's good for you. So just getting uncomfortable with listening to something that's going to because I would get uncomfortable about listening to her sermons because it was not what I was used to. I wasn't raised listening to sermons like that, so it was just something that was very uncomfortable for me. But once I just learned that I need to just feel the word, I was like, listen, they be having me crying. But it's a beautiful thing, and I feel like everybody should have that connection, and however you get it is up to you. And so last, I want to close out the episode with Diddy getting scared. So now this is a clip from Ellen DeGeneres that I saw, and I posted it on my Instagram. That is hilarious. First of all, Ellen asked Diddy if he's scared of clowns. He very what is that word? He very proudly says no, like, I'm not scared of clowns. And she's like, why? And then he gives his reason why he's not afraid of clowns. And if you ask, I'm not scared of clowns either, and I can say that very proudly. A clown can come up and I'm not going to be scared of the clown. But so then she's just like, well, why can't you be afraid of clowns, and blah blah blah. And then boom, a fucking clown pops out of like the thing that is in the little table that they have next to them. He just fucking pops out and scares the shit out of him. He's not afraid of clowns, but a clown pops up out on you, you're gonna be terrified. And that's gonna scare you to levels that he handled it like a G. He handled it very smoothly. He got up, he was scared, and then what happened? Oh, okay. And he just like popped out or whatever, and well, now I'm just all fucked up. And so pretty much with the whole thing that I got from that was, yeah, it was hilarious that he got scared by a clown, but also what I learned from that is that you may not be scared about what can happen in your life, or you may not be afraid of pursuing your goals and pursuing what drives you within you, but at the same time, if life comes at you in a certain way, you might be scared. If you, God forbid, you find out that something health-wise isn't going good for you, you're going to be scared. Or for somebody that you love, like, you're going to be scared. But at the same time, it's kind of like, what are you scared for? Like, now it's a question. It's not like telling you what you're scared for. It's just like, what is it that you're really afraid of? Like, what is it that is scaring you so much that you can't have normal conversations and not awkward ones, Claudia? Like that's just it just comes with, like, what are you scared for? Like, why can't you just go ahead and do it the way that you keep talking about doing it? Or why can't you just go ahead and start, like, the challenge, like how I was so afraid of doing it? It turns out that no one even asked me about it. And that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid about that. And then I was just like, what? And then now that I'm thinking about, like, me going back into my mindset and me going back into, like, thinking in the beginning of the month, or even when I was thinking about the challenge, like, what was it that you were truly scared for? And then now it's just like, what were you, like, you waited this long? Like, imagine if you would have done this a long time ago. And then not even for nobody, but for you. So that's something that I really, really learned from just what it was a 30-second clip that I took, and I took it into a different perspective, into where it was just kind of like, okay, yes, you're not afraid of chasing that dream, or you're not afraid of it, but something's going to happen that's going to get you scared, and that's okay. You have to be willing to accept that, and you have to be willing to move, through the fear. and fight through the fear. Because on the other side of fear is like triumph, and there's a lot of, you're going to reap the benefits from like being afraid. Because if you're afraid and you do it, you still did it. But if you're afraid and you don't do it, you're just gonna be a little scared bitch. We're not scared bitches. This is the Ambition Our podcast. We're not here to not be ambitious. We're not here to not be great. This is why this is a positive podcast, because I want you guys to really want you guys to dissect that. And I want you guys to really understand that this isn't something that I'm trying to push on you guys, but this is something that I want to share with you guys. Because one of the things that I keep hearing, like in the conversations that I have, with God, is that he keeps telling me that he's using me to talk to you guys and to use my voice to not be afraid, to share the faith that I have, not just in myself, but that I have in, the universe, and that I even have in hip hop. Because the reason why I want there to be more positivity in hip hop is because I don't see it. And I'm a very positive person. I have blocked certain Instagram pages because they weren't positive. You know what I mean? And not because I can't handle it, but because I don't want to see it. On the Ambition Our podcast page, you don't see no negativity on there because I don't want that. I don't want this to be a negative podcast at all. Like there, and you know what I also want, because on here I don't like to talk about gossip, but then like I'll gossip real quick, with my homie, like. You know what I mean? Like I'll gossip with my homie, and then I need to learn that I need to be better as well. So I come onto this on this podcast each and every single Saturday, and I preach about a lot of things, and I talk about a lot of things, but it's because I'm also going through them myself, and I'm also working through them, and I'm also battling a lot of demons that I'm trying to like. I be telling them the devil be trying it. The devil be trying it, but you gotta Heisman trophy that man, because what? Let me tell you.
Hey, can I ask a question?
What was the question?
All right, I noticed you don't have a question of the week.
I do not have a question of the week. What's the question of the week? What you gonna give me, sis?
I don't know if it was asked before or not, but
Speak up, speak.
Is a woman or man whore if they have sex on the first date? Or a slut? A slut.
Jerome, we have asked this on the Ambition Hour podcast. It was a question of the week. I don't remember which week, but
bring it back.
if I'm not mistaken, it was that no, like, cause I think the question was, if you have sex on the first date, does that make you a hoe? And I think everybody's response was no, because I think it was like, no, we grown, and then it was just like, yes, like yes, sex is sacred. I remember with that, it was just kind of like, it doesn't make you a hoe, but it doesn't make you a hoe. Like, it just doesn't make you a hoe, but there's just some people who are against it. People are just like, yo, I'm not going to have sex on the first date. I feel like, listen, if it's been a while that you haven't had none and you on a first date and homie is fine or lady is fine and she's with it, he with it, as long as it's consensual, listen, you can have sex on the first date, the third, you can have them on all the times that you want. You know what I mean? As long as it's consensual. That's how I feel. And that's me now knowing more knowledge, because when I first initially asked that question, it was kind of like, I would never have sex on the first date.
All right. So what about this? Is there a such thing as love at first sight?
Love at first sight? I mean, to me, I swear that every guy that I see, I'm gonna marry. Like, that's just me, though. So, guys, if I have ever shown interest in you, in my head, we have gotten married. And I'm being so real, but it's such a bad habit of mine that I like. But it's because you're with somebody, you're talking to somebody, you're with somebody, or whatever the fuck. And then like it's not love at first sight. It's just kind of like, it's like at first sight. you know, at first sight, it's just like, yeah, like I can see myself kind of like, you know, fucking with you for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, but I also feel like I've never really experienced it either. So I could never be like, this was love at first sight, because every person that I've ever dated, like seriously, was a friend before, you know, or like, you know, it was just different. So it could have never been love at first sight, because if it was love at first sight, I would have been with you. I would have been with you, you know, off rip, and you know, so, but that's a very good question. I might have to ask it. I mean, I already answered it. I talked about it, but
Put that thing on the pole.
he said, "Put that thing on the pole." Oh yes, and like I said earlier, shout out to everybody who has followed me on AuDii Ambition. Please make sure to also follow the Ambition Our podcast. We have gone up a couple of hundred followers, so shout out to that. I'm so excited, so blessed. And yeah, so what you scared for? Don't be scared. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning into the Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio and WTWTV. I just want to go ahead and say thank you. I think this is going to be the last time that we do the episode here in this living room. Next week we got something pretty exciting for you guys. I'm fucking excited. So yeah, so thank you to the living room for being our home for as many episodes. I remember. Hey! I bet you a lot of people didn't even know. They don't even know. They're like, what? They're shooting there in their living room? Yes, this is the living room that my parents let us turn into, basically, the Ambition Hour podcast studio. It has also been Hive Studio, Spit Studio. They have set it up. But we're moving on up, you guys. We're moving on up. So I'm very excited for the last episode here. I'm very grateful for episode 40 that's coming up. Like I said earlier, if you have any suggestions on what we can do episode 40 about, please let me know. Drop it in the comment section. Or you can go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram. If you want to join the Ambition Hour podcast challenge, you are more than welcome to join. All you gotta do is just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you can join the podcast. Okay. And you can get results with me. And let's just, you know, end the year right. I just want to say thank you to the boys so much for being here. You guys could have been anywhere else on a Saturday, but you're here with me, just like you guys. So thank you for tuning in to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, AuDii 3000. And I'm out. Happy Saturday.